then historically what has happened when these things happen is that usually business and merchants tag on to the new, we'll call it the new dollar. They'll tag on an increase in prices of usually around 15 or 20%. That's what you can expect. So you'll get screwed out of that. But that's just the way it is. And government really can't control it. And if they try to control it, there'll be a black market. So they're not going to be successful.
So really the best way
as far as debt is concerned, it would be logical that all debt would be reduced by 2/3. But there's nothing logical in Washington. And there's nothing logical with the Illuminati who run things behind the scenes. And so, with that said, it's my guess that they won't reduce debt. And that will wipe millions of people out. It's not going to be nice. And these people are evil, evil people. These are the same people that start all the wars and have for centuries. And so you got to get ready for it because that's what's coming.
What I'm hearing you say as I see what you say, you're in what you said earlier was to prepare for this by stocking up with food, dehydrated food, water, or some way to clean water, and equipment to reach out and touch someone. And those of you that don't know what reach out and touch someone, give me a call. I'll tell you on the phone.
Well, they cost $5,332, and they're called a .50 caliber rifle.
Amen.
And they'll kill at 3,000 meters.
Ladies and gentlemen, 3,000 meters. That's almost 2 miles. So remember that. The bottom line is, Mr. Chapman, is that stocking up with all of that and clothes, hypothetically. I shouldn't say hypothetically. Guys, you need to have and get you about 10 extra T-shirts, 10 extra, or maybe a couple of dozen socks, and put them in plastic bags, stick them in the closet with a little mothballs, and be prepared to not buy any clothes or any food for 6 months, if at all possible, 6 months. If you can't afford to get 6 months, do a little bit at a time and build up what you need at least 6 months. And if you can stop buying for 6 months, you're going to be better off, because right there at the beginning, as Mr. Chapman's saying, it's going to get bad. And the marketeers, the grocery stores, especially the crooked ones, they're going to keep a 20 to 25% market value above what it should be costing, and they're not going to care about, well, I don't care if the government says it's only worth 32 cents. It's going to be 50 cents, and I'm going to charge you 50 cents on the dollar, and I'm going to make some money. And that's what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. There's going to be a lot of gouging. A lot of people out there are not going to be prepared. I hope and pray that those of you listening to Mr. Chapman will do so and read. Subscribe to his newsletter. It's not that. It's a cup of coffee a day. And I know a bunch of you guys out there, especially you Marines in California, are driving into the base and you're stopping off and you're buying a latte for $3 every day. Well, that's $90 a month. That's over $1,000 a year. Mr. Chapman's newsletter is not even 1/10 that, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't cost you anything. 1-800-375-4188. Mr. Chapman, I have another question here that came in. Could you please ask Mr. Chapman if silver is going to go higher in the near future?
And the answer is yes. The silver is really underpriced, and silver is basically a commercial metal today. And they don't produce enough silver every year to meet the commercial demand. Plus, they have investment demand as well. So the only reason that silver is where it is and is as inexpensive as it is today at $17.14 an ounce is because your government is manipulating the price. Where should it be right now? Probably around $50. Where should gold be? probably $2,500 to $3,000 an ounce, but that will soon come to an end. They can't manipulate it forever. And so these prices are going to break out. And so silver is a very good buy, as is gold. But silver probably is a better buy from a leverage point of view.
If they devalue the dollar, will that not collapse the real estate market, having more homes upside down than right up?
Yes, it will. And, the price on the average house in America right now, from the top, is down 32%. I expect that average home to go down 40%. But there are areas that are down 50, 60, and 70% that will go even lower. And that's bad. But beyond that, what is as bad, if not worse, is that real estate is not going to recover for a minimum of 8 years, and maybe as long as 30 or 40 years. So you do not want to own real estate. You want to rent. It'll cost you probably 40% as much, and that's a high figure, as you would in owning a home. Because in the home, you've got the roof leaks, the pipes break, the electric goes, the porch falls apart, and so on and so forth. And if you don't own it and somebody else does, they got to fix it. You don't have to. And it also gives you more mobility. I mean, you really want to travel light nowadays, because there may come a day when you'll go out the front door and never come back. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen, but it's not going to be good.
And I've got another question here, and it's not going to be good. As a real estate broker, I'm seeing foreclosures here in Arkansas, and that's a good question. I'll bring this up to you. I'm seeing foreclosures here in Arkansas, and yet there's a lot of people here that are selling real estate that they say, well, you can move over to Bryant and Benton. That's where the white flight has gone to, and the house values over there are going up in value. But when I go to the repo list, I see 9 or 10 repos over there in the $200,000 range, and there's more in that range in the repo list than I see in the $25,000 to $50,000 range here in Little Rock, where the extreme poor live. So, is there any area of the country that's not going to be hit hard, or at least is not as bad?
I think that all areas are going to get hit, needless to say, even the ones that didn't go up very much. But the houses that are going to get hit the worst are the more expensive ones. I mean, you can see a $2 million house go down to $500,000. In the last go around in 1989 to 92, I sold my house in Malibu for $1 million. And I could have bought it back in 92 for $440,000. And this collapse is far worse than what we saw in that period between 1989 and 92. So these are the kind of things that you can expect. And that's bad enough, but, when is it going to recover? Forget it. You might be dead by then, of natural causes.
I'm going to give you my own personal scenario. The house that I had in California, when I left the United States Marine Corps, was sold to me for $68,000 in 1975. Somewhere between 75 and 85, the gentleman bought the house after I sold it to two other people had bought and sold it. He bought it for $330,000. And when I checked on it in 2004, the house was going for $625,000. In 2008, the woman that bought it in 2008 bought it for $550,000. It was sold at auction for $140,000 in a repo last year, and the people that are living in it now are losing it, and they only paid $140 for it last year. So is that a scenario of how really bad California is going to collapse?
Well, it is, and it's a high density area, and probably 1/3 of the population are illegal aliens. They don't pay taxes or things like that, and of course they're the first ones to not get employed or lose their jobs, or their business goes down to the extent that they can't make it. And then you have the working poor and the ill-educated, and there's lots of them in that area. I lived there for 36 years, so I know lots about that. And I think Southern California is going to become an absolute zoo.